So first of all, some basics. The employee completes Section 1 no later than the first day of employment. There's no change to that requirement. And then the employer completes Section 2 within 3 business days of their employee's first day of employment. There's no change to the current requirement for completing Section 2 for employees who are physically present at the company location. So we're going to turn our attention really today to the remote information and capture of documentation. So in the additional field that is on the I-9, the employer should indicate that documents were physically examined, who conducted the exam, and date. You can see an example here to the right. Section 2 should already be marked with COVID-19. The physical exam, as we mentioned, should be performed before August the 30th. And this is important. Employers can designate anyone they like to verify and record the original documents in person with the new hire to complete Section 2 or Section 3. And this person just has to be able to, as they say, quote, touch and feel the document and then sign off that the documents are verified. Again, this can be a friend, a neighbor, or even a family member. The employer may designate an authorized representative to complete Section 2 or 3 on behalf of the company, and this could include personnel officers, a foreman, agent, or a notary public. So the employer completes Section 3. For those of you doing re-verifications or rehires, there have been some announcements here with the ability to inspect documents remotely as well. If you are updating your Section 3, write COVID in the margin or in the additional information field as shown to the right. There is no change to the current requirements for employees physically present at work. And so now let's talk about what an employer should do if the employee presents a different but still acceptable document at the time of the physical inspection. So you do have 2 options here. Option 1 is to complete Section 2 on the new Form I-9, on a new Form I-9, and attach it to the Form I-9 used for the remote inspection. Option 2 would be to provide the document title, document number, issuing authority, expiration date, if any, of the new document in the additional information field, and notate that the employee presented this document at the physical inspection. We'll say as a best practice, the DHS recommends option 1, which would be just to complete a new Form I-9. And then employers should not create a new E-Verify case for the employee, nor should they update the existing E-Verify case in connection with the physical inspection. So this is a screenshot of the integration within our system. It looks a little bit different, but I'm going to turn it over now to Stephanie, who's going to do a little walkthrough of our integrated solution, and then she'll speak to the different platforms that we have as well. So Steph, I'll let you take the screen.
All right, thank you, Brad. You should be able to see our system at this time. Before I get into the demonstration, as Brad mentioned, I'm going to touch briefly on our platforms. We do have 2 different client platforms, so if this one looks familiar, if you're a current client, this is our TazWorks platform, where the Form I-9 compliance integrated application is housed. If you decide you'd like to use this product, we would, if you're in the other platform, we would set you up and provide training to your team on the TazWorks platform. And this is a quick and easy transition, and there's no cost to your company for that. Today's demo of the Form I-9 system will be a very high-level overview. So again, if you decide to use this integration or you'd like more information, just contact sales@referenceservices.com or your dedicated account rep to get started. Once you're signed up, we would then do an in-depth training that's customized to your company's needs. So again, this one's just going to be high-level today. The process we're going to be reviewing today is for a remote employee that would be using an authorized representative of their choice to complete Section 2. So to start that process, you have 2 different ways you can get there in the system. And the first one is through the Form I-9 compliance dashboard. And you can access that through the utilities menu by going to Form I-9 compliance. And you would select a Section 1 Management Remote Invitation from the drop-down menu and click Go. And you'll see a screen where you can send that invitation to your employee. The example I'm actually going to walk through today is accessing the ability to send an invitation directly from a completed background check. So you'll locate the background check of your employee that has accepted an offer of employment with your company. And you will scroll down to the bottom of the screen and you'll see a section for Form I-9 E-Verify interface. And all you need to do is select Start Form I-9 Remote Invitation. It'll automatically redirect you to that invitation screen, filling out the employee's information, including their last name, first name, and email. All you'll need to do is type in your email address and enter in their hire date. There are a couple of different options I wanted to point out here. The Section 1 option is if you want them to complete Section 1 electronically, but you're going to complete Section 2 in person in your office, or if you'd like to use the notary network. But for today, we're going to use Form I-9, which allows them to select an authorized representative. Once we send the invitation, you'll get a confirmation message here. And the applicant will receive an email with their login information and a link to the system. This is what the invitation will look like. This text is customizable. All they need to do to log in is copy and paste that login ID, and they'll have to enter their name exactly as it is so that it matches. They'll click the link to go to the login page. And then paste in their login ID. And then it takes them to a screen where they just need to complete 5 simple steps for their portion of the Form I-9. The first is for Section 1, completing their information. I'm just going to type in some information here. Once they complete their information, they will click Next. Before I do that, just want to point out at the top, there are links to instructions and the list of acceptable documents so that they can review those as needed. Step 2 is a declaration of their citizenship status. So for today, we're going to choose a citizen of the United States. If you choose option 4 for an alien authorized to work until a certain date, when you enter an expiration date here, the system will automatically send you as the employer reminder emails as that expiration date approaches. But again, for today, we're going to select a citizen of the United States. Step 3 is where the employee will indicate which documents they're going to provide, and this is where they will also upload the documents. You can choose list A or list B and C. For today, we're going to go with list B and C. For the first document from list B, we're going to use a driver's license. And if you are an E-Verify participant, they will get a notification that this document must contain a photo. And for the second, for list C, we're going to choose a social security card. And this is where they can upload those documents by clicking Add an e-document. If they are on their computer, they will have the ability to drag and drop the documents. If they are on their cell phone, they will the camera will open up and they can take photos of the documents from this screen. Once they click upload, they get a confirmation. And this step is complete, so we will click Next to provide the e-signature. There are a couple different options for e-signature. The one we have set up on the demo account is a security question signature, but you can also have a mouse signature set up here. Once they click Sign, it will confirm their process is complete, and they will see a pop-up that allows them to send the invitation to their authorized representative of choice for Section 2. The text at the top is customizable, so you as a company can provide further instruction on who qualifies as an authorized representative. The email address here must be different than the employee's email address, the authorized representative information. Once that's entered, they click send. And once they get the confirmation it was sent, they can close the window. And at this point, the employee will lose access to the system. The authorized representative will then receive an email. And when the employee goes to them in person, they will open up that email. And you can see there is a link to the login page, and it provides similar login credentials here. So again, we're going to copy and paste that login ID. There's also a user guide for Section 2 available for them to use as well. Once they enter their login information, it takes them to the Form I-9. They can take a look at Section 1, and then they will scroll down to Section 2. You can see the documents that the employee chose are pre-selected here, but they can be changed if the employee decided to bring different documents. The authorized agent will then complete the document information. And then they will complete the additional information section as needed. We recommend checking documents physically examined. And then you can see the signature validation is now highlighted, letting them know they need to sign here. You also see that the employee's first day of employment field is filled out, and that is based on what you filled out when you sent the invitation. When they're ready, they'll check the box for signature validation. And again, it's a security question signature, but this can also be set up as a mouse signature. And then they will click e-sign document. Once they have their confirmation, they can close the form, and at this point they lose access to the system and cannot make any further changes. At this time, an email will be sent to your company letting you know that the Form I-9 is complete for that individual. And it lets you know you can view it by logging into the system. So we're going to go back into the system and go over a couple of different things. When you're ready to view someone's completed Form I-9, you can do that a couple different ways. Again, you can do it through the dashboard. So on the dashboard, if you click go, you'll see a screen similar to what Brad was showing on his presentation that provides just some information on what is in the system. So you can see anything that's in blue is informational, and anything in a red box means that action is required. The system will send out notifications daily for anything with action required. You can view your active employees, and once you're in that list, you can view their I-9s from there. But for today, I'm actually going to go back to the completed report in the system. And if you scroll back down to the I-9 E-Verify interface at this time, there are now new options. So if you are using E-Verify through this service, the first option is Start E-Verify, and that will initiate that case with E-Verify, and you should have results within a few seconds. The other option is to show Form I-9. We always recommend viewing the form before sending it to E-Verify just to make sure everything is consistent. Once the form loads, you can review Section 1, make sure everything looks okay, and scroll down to Section 2. At the very bottom, there are some options. There is the ability to send a Section 1 edit invite to your employee if you found something there that needs to be corrected. You can also submit E-Verify directly from here after you've reviewed the form. We don't have the ability to send a case to E-Verify in demo mode, but I can show you what a result will look like once the E-Verify case is returned. So to do that, I'm actually going to go to the E-Verify archived section from the drop-down menu. And you can click on your employee's name, and you can see the E-Verify case number. And if you scroll down, you can see in this case, it was employment authorized. Auto close is the case resolution. So if anything different comes back, you would see that information here. That completes our high-level overview of the Form I-9 compliance integration within RSI's system. I'm now going to turn it back over to Brad for some final thoughts before the Q&A.
All right, thank you, Stephanie. And just a reminder, if you all have any questions, just put it in the Q&A here, and we'll be happy to address those here in the next couple of minutes. I'll just put back up here some key takeaways on just a reminder of the dates. The flexibility period ends in July 31st, but then you have until August 30th to update your documentation. And then again, you should not create any new E-Verify cases for these employees, nor should you update existing E-Verify cases. A couple additional comments. As a reminder, this is on our TazWorks platform. If you're not on that platform, we can easily move you there. There is no additional cost to do that, and we would include all training, so there's no cost there. We just need to set up the integration for your account. There would be some small annual fees to Form I-9 compliance for the use of their platform, and we can certainly go over that with you and give custom proposals if you will, if that's something that you need. So at this point, Heather, do we have any questions in the queue that we need to address? Heather might be muted, just to make sure.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, one asked if we could send out the recording to everyone. I believe that is going to be done, correct?
Yeah, I did ask the system to record, so hopefully if that went correct, we can certainly do that.
Yes, and then do we have the ability to view? Oh, the chat just went away. Let me pull that back up. Do we have the ability to view and print the worker's employment authorization photo match documents within the I-9? I believe that's a yes. Is that your understanding, Stephanie?
Oh, sorry, would you be able to repeat that one more time?
Yes, to view and print the employment authorization photo match documents with the I-9.
Yes.
And what is the date that we are required to go back to in viewing physical documents? She's hearing 2020.
Yeah, I think it's anything that's marked COVID that was done remote that you did not do a physical check on. Basically, the Department of Homeland Security is asking you to go back and do all of those documents that were marked under the COVID flexibility period.
Right. And then in the event of an audit, can the completed forms be mass downloaded? Yes. Just reach out to Sales at Reference Services. Form I-9 compliance can assist us with mass uploads and downloads. And Sally, can we utilize only the I-9 service or need to enroll in other services? You can only utilize the I-9 service. So if you don't participate in E-Verify, you can simply use our services for doing your remote I-9s. And the documents are stored. The question was, where are they stored? The I-9s are stored in the dashboard. And then finally, what if section 2 needs to be corrected, like an incorrect passport number, license number? Can that be sent back to the person who completed that section, or would the admin correct? I believe the employer can edit section 2, only the employee can edit section 1. And you could send a section 1 edit invite if that needed to be edited. How long are the documents stored? That is a great question. I am not 100% sure on that. Brad or Stephanie, do you know, or do we need to reach out with our partner on that question?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. So let's definitely reach out and then communicate that back.
Okay. And then somebody wants us to explain the last key takeaway, which is basically stating that if you're doing the physical inspection of documents that were not physically inspected during COVID, those are the cases that if you're participating in E-Verify and you already have a completed E-Verify, you do not need to resubmit or update that E-Verify. You're only updating the I-9 by stating you physically examined the documents. Can we use the I-9 integration to do the physical examination of employees who start remote, or does it have to be new hires only? You can definitely use that I-9 integration. The authorized representative for a remote employee would be your solution. Can the email to the authorized rep be sent if necessary by admin? Stephanie, I think I'm going to let you answer that one.
I am not aware of a way on the initial Form I-9 for an admin to send that. It's not, that doesn't mean it's not possible. I think we'd have to double check on that.
Okay, any other, that's the last question I'm seeing in the chat box. I don't see any additional ones in the Q&A. If anyone else has any questions and would like to put those in, we can certainly address those as we have a few moments left.
Yeah, and I would also say if there's something you think of afterwards, you can always send an email to sales@referenceservices.com. For those of you on the call that are reference services clients already, you can always use our help desk as well. Both of those will be monitored and we'll respond to you immediately. Stephanie and Heather, thank you for assisting today, and for all those of you on the call, we appreciate it. Just be looking for your emails. We'll be trying to do these updated webinars once a month on various issues as the importance comes around regarding compliance or updates in criminal background checks. Everything that we do, we're certainly going to try to keep our clients informed. Thank you all very much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thanks.